Hi, everyone, and welcome into this latest edition of the Michigan State Spartans Insider Podcast. I'm your beat reporter for Michigan State Spartans on SI, Aidan Champion. And today I want to get into Michigan State football's two new coaches on its staff. Obviously, one of them, the staff is more so familiar with John Boyer, who, of course, spent some time at Oregon State under Jonathan Smith. And then you got James Adams, new safeties coach. Um, Two coaches who, I think were great ads this offseason. You look at Boyer, I think obviously the main narrative surrounding him is his connection with Aiden Childs. And, even Childs said himself that when he heard Boyer was coming on, that it was the best thing that could have happened to him. That just speaks to the level of excitement there is there and the connection those two have. Then, Jonathan Smith had brought it up numerous times um, this offseason, just, how he thinks that connection is going to help Aiden in his development and taking the next step. I had said before, you brought over, you got Jonathan Smith already, you bring over um, several coaches from his staff. I didn't necessarily understand why just one more, who was a quality control coach, senior advisor, how he, makes the difference. But I guess the expectation is that he will, and there is a really strong bond with him and Aiden. If you've, watched some of those off-season all access clips or whatever, it looks like, those two um, have a bond where they get along, they joke around with each other. So I think there is um, something strong there, and I think Brian Lindgren, offensive coordinator, had mentioned it in spring that he thinks this is going to benefit Aiden because now there's more a hands-on uh, coaching going on because Lindgren last year, of course, was the quarterback's coach, and he had to uh, serve responsibilities of offensive coordinator and the position coach. So his time was kind of divvied up there, but now Aiden has someone who can focus solely on him in the quarterback room, and that should be advantageous. Um, but I if this is a move that is um, as great as it's been hyped up to be in terms of that relationship between Boyer and Aiden, I mean, and Michigan State made a great hire there. Um, so that is something to be excited about, especially when it seems like all eyes are kind of on Aiden, at least when you talk Michigan State football at this point in the offseason. Um, and then looking over at James Adams, guy coming over from Wake Forest, his alma mater, and you know this guy when he talked to the media um, last month, he just has such a great energy about him, and just a guy you want to be friends with. Um, I think he's got such great personality, more than you know your um, your typical coach speak guy, X's and O's. Um, he's deeper than that and wants to connect with you on a personal level too. Um, and there's a reason he was an associate head coach for Wake Forest last year. Um, he's just got a great personality to him. Seems like a really good guy. Um, he's got experience coaching the Big Ten, albeit only 1 year. That was at Purdue, and if you remember that Purdue team, it was 2021. So that Purdue team was the one that stunned Michigan State when they went to West Lafayette that 11-2 season. Um, So I'm sure he remembers that fondly. I'd like to ask him about that when we get to fall camp. But guy, he also has experience in the state of Michigan. Coached at Western for a year as its quarterbacks coach or cornerbacks coach. Um, and you know, I think there's a lot of concern when the Spartans lost Demetrius Martin, um, because obviously he's a great coach and a great recruiter, different position coach, but um, I think that when it comes to Blue Adams and whoever else is back there, it's more so. Um, I think there's a more connected approach to coaching the secondary as a whole. Um, that's just kind of the how I've interpreted it. Um, but so Blue Adams still secondary coach, and then James Adams the safeties coach. I think from what James said in the last month that they have a um, they work well together, um, and I think there's going to be a sense of a renewed sense of toughness with the secondary. And I think, James Adams is going to make this group want to be there every day. Going to make things fun for his safeties and want to get after it. So I think he brings a great energy to that room. And I think that was a great hire. And this is a guy, he's going to be a head coach someday. I know he's going to. Um, so say what you want about Jonathan Smith, but he finds the right guys. Okay. And one thing I really respect him for is that um, he stays true to his guys, brought over a bunch of them from Oregon State. And so loyalty is something important to him. He knew that, those guys helped him, lift that program, get it to where it was when he left it. And so he said, I want you guys to come with me when I start this new chapter over here at Michigan State. And all those guys, great coaches, Jim McCulchick, um, KB, Brian Wozniak. Um, it's a great group. It really is. Um, Brian Lindgren, and then obviously um, added Joe Rossi, who was a great hire as well. So, I think that this is there's a lot to be um, optimistic about when it comes to this coaching staff and development. Hard to base things off of 1 year of them together at a new school. So we'll see, you know, how they're able to assess year one and make the necessary adjustments in the off season, which I feel like they already had started to with spring camp. So, um, great coaching staff you got here. I really think that. Um, we'll have to see if it translates as we get into year number two of the Jonathan Smith regime, which it's going to be a crucial one. So, with all that said, thank you everyone, as always, for tuning in. Really appreciate your engagement. You can read all of our content at Michigan State Spartans on SI, where we're giving you tons of daily content um, on your beloved Michigan State Spartans. So, thank you again, and have a great rest of your week. Thanks.